He's such an old.
Are you dramatic? You must be dramatic with that hair and those big old eyes. Yeah, you have to be. It just makes sense. Yes, it does. Alrighty.
Okay.
Should we get started?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Angie Hotz. I'm a doula and a childbirth educator here in Kitsap County, and I'm doing a project where I'm talking with moms and listening to their birth stories from the community. And I'm here with Samantha.
Hi.
She's going to tell us her birth story.
Okay.
So, you can start wherever you want. You can
Alright.
even start when you found out you were pregnant. I mean,
Oh,
wherever you want to start is totally fine.
what's today's date? December
No
6th?
idea. I think so.
It was a year ago today. Yeah. Wow.
You can start there.
Okay. Well, a year ago today, I took a test at home and I found out I was pregnant with this guy. And from there, proceeded to be very happy and nervous and excited. And then I found Angie through a doula client. Was she a doula client? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I do remember I saw you guys at the Yeah Baby Expo. So it wasn't until like March-ish,
Yeah.
because the thing was in March, and I remember seeing you guys, and I remember seeing you, and then seeing you later, and being like, oh, I don't know, I remembered you.
Cool. Okay. So then we signed up for your class because your website with the part about running a marathon without training
Mm-hmm.
was the part that really clicked with me, that I wanted to try a natural delivery, and at first I was just going to try to go natural, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go natural, being medication and intervention free.
And you've been triathlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, twice. And then, so I signed up, and we had two other couples in our class, and they were each due a month, well, 2 months and then 1 month before he was due, and they all had successful births. So, so from there, it was definitely inspiration, and I was like, I can do it. I think I can do it. But anyway, so.
You want to listen to your mama talk? No, you listen to her talk. You can see her.
Okay, so the delivery. So, well, the pregnancy went great. Never had any problems, and everything went really well. It was smooth and pretty comfortable up to the very end, except for 2 days before, I just started feeling weird, and that was 9 days before my due date. And I started Googling everything that I was feeling. Like, does this mean labor is near? And of course, everything says within days to weeks. It's like, well, of course it's going to be within weeks. So I just said, okay, stay away from the internet. And did my usual things, and went on a really hilly walk just across the highway with my girlfriend the night before, asking her everything, all these symptoms. And of course, most moms are like, I don't remember. So I'm like, how do you not remember? But then, so I just felt really weird the 2 days before. And
Like just off? Like
just off, kind of like having to go to the bathroom a lot, and just kind of like sickly, and it was the first time I felt uncomfortable. I remember that, and it was just those last 2 days. And anyway, so I the Monday night, so he was born on Wednesday, midday. So Monday night, I woke up at 2:30 and could not sleep anymore. And I started laundry, did all the laundry, 4 loads of laundry, made tea, tried reading this hypnobirthing book. Just I was like, well, this might be good to have backup information, and read all that. And then and I remember texting my brother, hey, I think the baby's going to be here soon, like in the next few days. And so, and then the next night, Tuesday night, it happened again. I woke up at 2:30 and I could not sleep anymore. So I got up, got everything down here, went to the kitchen and was like, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to eat something. And I was like, peanut butter and bread. That sounds really like it'll hold me over but if it's the last thing I eat. But I didn't think I was in labor at that point at all. I was just like, I'm hungry. Made some tea, and then as I was waiting for the water, I was like, ow! And it was right in my tailbone. So I didn't think that was labor either. So the pain kept happening. I went to the bathroom, and then the pain was still happening. Came downstairs, pain was still happening. It was timing it, and it was from the very beginning. From the very beginning, we can also put him in this swing if it.
I think he just got like startled. I don't know if it was the cat or what.
Oh.
I felt him just kind of
tense up.
Yeah.
So, I started timing the contractions, and pretty much from the beginning, they were 20 to 30 seconds and every 2 to 3 minutes. So they were really fast but short. And then by about 4:45 in the morning, I was sitting on an exercise ball. I decided I gotta go tell my husband, like, he can't go to work today. Even if this stops, I want him home. Like, I don't care. So went upstairs, and he started doing the timing, and it went 4 to 5 minutes for 45 seconds to a minute 15, like right away there. And so we timed that for an hour, and it's like the fastest hour in the world, it seems like. But and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna call the hospital. And in the meantime, he was running around getting everything done. And so we call the hospital, and they're like, just stay and wait. And I was okay with that too, because I didn't want to go in too soon. So took a shower, had the water pushing on the back, on my back. And in between contractions, I was so amazed that you feel absolutely fine. And then the contractions happen, and you're like, good grief, this is painful or uncomfortable. I realized after going through the contractions in the hospital that those first contractions were nothing. I was like, that's like having a period cramp, But,
at the time, it doesn't feel like it.
Right. So we stayed, and then next thing we say, okay, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning, let's go ahead and go. So we packed up, got in the car. I had a contraction in our neighborhood, which was really freaky, and being in a moving car, I think there was just something unnatural about that. Like, I wish he could have just stopped driving.
And you guys are 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah,
like pretty
super close. And then I had another one on the way there, and then one, I was like, let's wait, I'm not going to have one in the middle of the parking lot. So I had one right at the car, too. So we get in, and they slowly check us in. I think it's the volunteer staff or something, early in the morning. Nobody else was in there. And then they take us to triage and check me for my water. It had already broke. Check my dilation, and I didn't know my water had broke. I thought it might have, but I wasn't sure, so she had to do the little Q-tip test.
I remember too something about you guys playing with the cats here at the house.
Yeah, that was when I was in the shower. So Bernie likes to play with these broomsticks. He hides them under there, and I was putting in between the cracks of the glass door and entertaining him, and that was definitely
the pictures
a distraction.
of it.
Yeah,
like seeing.
Yeah, they were just like, woohoo, what's going on? We're all up. It's our, best time of day. Those 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So, so they test us, and then, but when she went to check my dilation, she said that his head, like the cervix opening was super far behind posterior, so she couldn't even feel dilation, and but she also said that I was fully effaced. So anyway, so then from there on, and then I had a contraction when they hooked me up to the monitor, and because his heart rate dipped on there, then I had to have that tied up to me the whole time. Except for when they left and I said, "Can you get these things off of me?" And he obliged. So I was very thankful for that, because I was getting all twisted up in them. It's like, I don't need these. My baby's healthy. I know that. It's just maybe the contraction moved him a little, and it was harder to read. But of course, I'm not a professional, so I had to.
Well, you're a professional of your body, though.
Yeah.
You're an expert in your body and your baby.
Yeah. And he was a good, solid baby. So then, here's where I think everything just kind of blends together for me now that it's been so long. But then they say, "Okay, yes, we'll take you into the back." So she said, "Do you want a wheelchair?" I said, "No, and I'm going to walk. This baby's going to keep going down the right way." So we walk all the way to the farthest room. It's the most gingerly I've ever walked in my life. And then I'm still having contractions. I kind of went on the bed, I set it up so that I was kind of in like a all fours position, but holding onto the back of the bed. So that kind of felt good, but of course nothing really felt good. But for the first hour and a half or two, I was still able to communicate between contractions and, have a good time, talk with the nurses, and then it got real. And then it just got to the point where my husband was being so supportive, thanks to the Bradley method, teaching, rubbing me and saying the great things and showing me pictures and keeping me content, I guess. But then it was, I thought I would be like this, but it was just no sensory input. I've got enough going on here. And then I just got to the point where I wasn't really breathing very well, and I describe it as a bucking bronco is how I imagine myself if there was a video on me. And just when they came so hard and painful, and it was all just in my tailbone. I never felt anything here, which maybe that's better, maybe that's worse. You never know. You can't compare unless you've had both kinds. But mine was just in the very end of my tailbone, just so concentrated right there. And he was in the correct position, so it's just my shape, where my nerves are.
Yeah. Have you ever had like an injury in your tailbone, or? No.
I don't think so.
Just the way you're built,
I guess so. And which I was surprised, because my mom and I have a very similar build, and she didn't experience that at all. And she was, they're a wave. And I was like, that sounds beautiful compared to what I have. And I'm pretty sure my next child would be like that too, because after contractions, I just had 3, but they were all right there too.
Right there.
Dang it. They don't go away. Like, not even a cramp feeling at all. Yeah. So, anyway, then, okay, so now I'm bucking around, and my husband has been shushed, unfortunately. Just be there, be a presence of strength for me to hold. And a nurse came in, Nurse Kim at Harrison Silverdale, if you ever have her. She's wonderful, the church nurse. And
I love that you remember her name. And
oh yeah. I will never forget Kim. She made it bearable again. I never thought about getting meds for the pain. It never even crossed my mind. But she came in, whether or not I remember this correctly or not, but I just feel like she came in and grabbed my hand and said, "You gotta breathe." And I was gasping like a drowning person, where you're not getting the air you need. And she's like, "No, breathe." And so then after a few gulps, was breathing, and the contraction just stopped, basically, like went way mild, and it basically ended. And then the next ones that came and I was breathing better, they were so much less painful, so much more bearable again. And I was like, boy, I should have done that a long time ago. So, anyway, then she said, Kim came in and she was like, okay, I want to check your dilation again. And so, well, she hadn't checked it yet, but okay, it was a long enough time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to check. And by the way I was acting, I think she knew, like, yeah.
Things are moving.
Yeah. So she goes in there, says the same thing, that he's so low, and she said, what is it? The minus station is the low one, or plus station.
Minus. Yeah.
And so he was the -1. So he was low.
Okay, then plus.
Plus?
I'm sorry, plus.
Plus 1?
Yeah, minus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was low enough, but same thing. It was, my cervix was still like lip stuck behind his head. They never used the word lip. It just sounded like it was like ballooned back, like the whole thing. And so she's like, we got to get gravity working for you. I make her sound so grovelly. She's not like that at all. She's like, we need to get gravity working. And she goes, let's stand up. And I was like, stand up? So she goes, yep, husband, get behind her here. And so he stands behind me. They raise the bed up so that I can, put my hands on it, brace myself like that. And then I have one contraction. And my husband, grabbed my hips, and I was able to just fully relax, like everything else. Because before, I had just started like pushing away from the contraction, as if I can escape it or something. And so by him doing that, my legs just went limp, and it felt as good as it could feel, I think. And then at that point, she was calling the doctor in, and that was really uncomfortable standing, but because I think it was straightening the cervix like they wanted, maybe that's what was going on. So then they get me back on the bed, and I'm having a few more contractions. This is where everything's like a blink of an eye, so fast after this. And the doctor comes in.
And who's your doctor?
Dr. Mary. Yeah. And I liked her from the moment I met her. She's just really personable and very nice, and can communicate a lot with eye contact, I think. For me, with me, at least,
I like her. She's my gynecologist now, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like her.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is. So she comes in, is all in her nice clothes, and then she looks in there, and then says, oh, we got to pop the bag of water. It's right there, creating a lot of pressure on the cervix, and I don't know what else she said. So they take the long floppy crochet hook thing, and everything's going so fast, and I was like, no! I thought it was going to hurt or something, and I thought maybe it was an intervention or something, and I just wasn't sure about it, but she just went boop, millisecond, and then just this gush of warm water that felt so good. It just felt like a nice warm bath down there, and it's really soothing, but then I knew, and I was kind of scared. I was like, things are going to really, really move. So, and when she checked first Kim checked my dilation, and she was like, oh, you're at a 6, and I said, that's all? She goes, no, that's really good. And then Dr. Marriott came in and checked me, and then I honestly don't remember what she said I was, because I remember just being so scared at that point of being checked again, just like that you just start feeling like cattle or something, So, plus everything was really moving at that point. But so she popped it, and then they said, okay, let's stand you back up. I'm like, what? And then, so they did, And then the nurse says, okay, I don't think it was Kim, but she's like, tell us when you want to push, okay? And then they all kind of evacuated. And I was like, where are they going? And like that, I'm like, I want to push. I don't even think she made it out of the room. And I'm having the contraction, standing up with my heels on my husband's shoes. I can see like blood. And I remember thinking about my dog Sophie really quick, who had been in heat once. And I remember seeing that and like feeling like it was like the same sort of animalistic thing. And
kind of primal.
Yeah. And even though it's in this hospital setting, it still made me remember that. So I had that contraction and I was just dropping. And then Dr. Marriott comes and gets in my face. Maybe I just had I feel like people were really close to me when they were communicating. I guess you have to be with somebody that's in that mindset.
Yeah.
Remember Hannah mentioned she remembers it being so loud in her head, but she saw a video of it and it was so tranquil and quiet.
Yeah,
and
I do remember that.
That's exactly what it felt like. Exactly. She said it so perfectly. So anyway, she's like, okay, Sam, I can deliver this baby in any position, but I can't deliver it on the floor. So we got to get you back on the bed. I was like, and at that point, I described myself as like a giant dead stiff spider or something. Where like everybody's grabbing a limb and getting me back on the table or bed because like I just couldn't do it. And so I get there and I'm like, I don't know what position to deliver in. I try being on like the position I had been in before with my hands on the back of the bed, but Dr. Marriott said, I think with that back labor that you're experiencing, I think being in a more seated position is going to be more comfortable for you. So okay, I'll go along with what anybody suggests at this point. But I couldn't do that position straight on my tailbone. It just hurt too bad. So I did alternating kind of like like this.
Like on your side, sort of.
Like butt cheek to butt cheek. So that was great, not having just having full mobility and being able to turn with him in the birth canal and everything. Just, I'm moving, and didn't need help moving there. But again, when it came time to push, I remember not pushing right. Like I couldn't find that spot to push, which was just weird. I remember like putting pressure and like doing this, but like feeling like, no, I'm not actually actively pushing. So Dr. Marriott was like, push here, focus here. And I said, get those out of me. And I don't know why it bothered me. It's not like...
Well, it can be distracting. I mean, sometimes it can focus you, but I think...
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes you lose your zen or something. I don't know.
And you're feeling that versus feeling the big picture. I don't know. So I remember not wanting to push really hard because, for one, I think the main reason actually I just didn't want to get hemorrhoids. So it's like, if I don't push too hard, I won't get them. So that's what I tried doing at first. Plus I was just kind of clueless as to where to push. And doing these and pushing, but not really doing anything productive. And my husband's at the receiving end as well. And I had Kim on one side and Tina on the other side, the two nurses. And they were really encouraging. And again, I started pushing back with my feet. And they said, so they each grabbed a leg, kind of. And helped. That helped so much because, you just want to naturally push away from it, but it's so
now you
silly.
gotta curl into it.
Yeah.
Go after it.
Yeah.
That's hard to wrap your brain around.
Yeah.
You're like, no way.
Yeah, like, oh my God, this hurts. Like, I think your head physically wants to detach itself from that. And yeah, the only time it hurt was during those contractions still, even with all that happening, you know? So, anyway, I throw caution in the wind and I said, screw it, I'll take hemorrhoids. I want this over with.
Baby out.
Yeah. So I just start pushing and it was as much strength as I could muster. I remember seeing movies and thinking that they're grunting and screaming in pain, but no, that's just the force that you have. So then I fully I understood that. So I was like, oh, okay, it's not really pain you're experiencing at that point. Yeah, it is, but it's also
intensity and power.
Yes,
and this like force inside you that.
Yeah,
it's always cool to watch it because I can see like this shift between the moms, like I can't dig any deeper, and then they do, and it's like. I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's that shift where you're like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
And then they realize it, and you're like,
yeah.
You do.
The baby's coming out of me. And so I was pushing, and I remember one time I had the thought between contractions, I was like, man, a C-section would be easier. but I know and understand that the recovery is not. So I push and push and push. And then it was about 45 minutes of pushing. Then he was out, and I remember feeling the burn, the ring fire burn, and still I remember that actually being like a satisfying feeling, like he's like coming, and I remember them saying we could see the head, he's crowning, or we didn't know it was a boy, so it's crowning. I don't know if they said it, but we see the head is probably what they said more. And my husband saying, yeah, we could see about this much. And like, that's all? Oh, I remember when I bore down. It's funny how it took me that long to remember. Kim said, you can feel the head. And she took my hand and put the head down there. And I was feeling around like, what? Because it was all squishy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that's me. That's me. What the heck is this? That's not a baby's head. And there's something really squishy and hairy. So.
Well, yeah, he's got lots of hair.
So then, that's when I bore down. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm squishing him, or the baby. I gotta get him out of there. And so that's exactly when I bore down, and I just pushed, and it wasn't much longer. And I still thought, I didn't know that once it was that point, it wasn't that much longer. I just thought it was still going to be like as long as it had been.
Yeah.
Again, but no, like by that point you've done so much of it.
Yeah.
So then I'm pushing, and then she said stop, and I was like, I can't stop. And then like just kept pushing. And the doctor told me later that she had her hand on his head, because she knew like he was just gonna come like flying out, and then he literally did come squirting out, and he was out, and I was like, what? It's over? I could not believe it. I could not believe that it was done, and he was here, and I still didn't know what gender he was. And then they hand him over to me, and my husband could see it was a boy. And I was like, oh, it's a boy. And he said, it's a boy. It's a boy. And they hand him to me and put him right on my chest, and he started suckling instantly.
Oh, wow.
Latched, and it was wonderful. And I just still couldn't believe that it was done. And it was 2:08 p.m.
Nice.
So, and he was born 7 pounds 3 ounces, 19 and a half inches long. So, yeah, then the rest, I don't know what happened. The placenta came out at some point soon, and I had a 2nd-degree tear, so got those stitched up, and then but other than that, that's all I can remember from the birth story for now. I'm sure I'll read the one we wrote down and think, oh, why didn't I go for that? But, it was as smooth as you could hope for. I mean, for it to have started at around 4 in the morning and to be done at 2 o'clock that was a great amount of time, and I now understand why people say like a fast delivery is kind of difficult, because 10 hours, and so for him, for one to be 5 hours or 4 hours or 3 hours would be so difficult to wrap your head around, I think. But I couldn't be happier. I felt that your class really equipped us. My husband, I think, is where it was most important.
Did he watch and he see everything?
He saw everything and was there coaching me on after I had said, okay, stop saying the nice things to me. And now he was just at the end and telling me, yeah, we see it, it's going. And of course he told me later, he was like, yeah, I thought it was going to be a while, because as soon as it goes forward, he goes back. And he was like, oh God, I'm not going to tell him that. But so he was really great, excited at that end.
That's so cool.
And then it gave him really great understanding, and made him really compassionate afterwards towards me and the healing process. Like, I've seen exactly what
your body did.
And everything opening up for the baby to come out. So I guess I don't use theirs, but in the end I did get massive hemorrhoids. But they went away pretty quickly, so I was okay with that. But,
the only way through is forward.
And you can't isolate just the vagina. So but
they go back to normal, and your body heals.
It's just amazing. And it's really cool. Like, I never thought I never noticed myself getting wider in the hips during the late stages of pregnancy. Never noticed it at all, probably because your belly is so big and you see that. But then I noticed it a few weeks afterwards, like, wow, I was bigger. I didn't notice that, and you widen, and your body's just doing everything it can to help you out before it. So it's not like me today going and delivering. There's so much hormones and relaxing things that they make it so possible. And so afterwards they gave me ibuprofen, and they were like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain level? And I was like, well, after that I don't even know what to say. I don't even think it's a 1, but just because of that localized intensity of the back
tailbone.
So
how long did you end up staying at the hospital?
Just through the
24-hour
next. It was longer, because I guess a lot of people got I don't know, started having babies that day. So it was a pretty popular day, and then it took us a while to get out, but that was I would rather just leave that night pretty much. But because I couldn't sleep, you just close your eyes and boom, you're reliving it. Boom, you're reliving it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to sleep. He's snoring over there.
Of course.
And it begins, the jealousy of the husband sleeping, So we made it home the second night, and I was like, what do we do? We were parents, and so we just did what we did. Fed him, changed him, slept.
Did you have, did you do belly binding with
Yes,
Brandy?
I did.
When did she come?
She came Friday, so that was the very next day after we got home Thursday night, and then we got she came over Friday, and that was really
Awesome.
was great, and we weren't able to do it the full 46 days. Once he went back to work, it was just hard I wouldn't get out of bed in time for him to do it. But he got really good. We got really good together binding, and that was really enjoyable. So, but I really recommend that, because that fabric is so taut and not stretchy or Velcro or sweaty. It's really comfortable. So, we did that, and I think that helped a lot with getting things back into place.
Closing you back up.
Yeah.
I keep scaring you when I talk. I can feel you jump. What do you have, like, a favorite moment? Something that sticks out, like, I don't know, just like something favorite.
For the delivery,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be Kim getting in my face.
That's awesome.
You've got to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Just those simple words, and just forgetting, and for my husband to not really realize that that's what I needed. It was
Mhm.
nice to have somebody see that, and just to be able to remind me, because that
Mhm.
was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
That was an absolute game changer. That, and when she told me she felt like feel the head, that again
Mhm.
changed it. So yeah, Kim really influenced the delivery
That's
a
awesome.
lot. So our insurance called actually after, and a couple weeks after, to ask
Mhm.
how, just a 10-minute survey or something, and asked if I wanted to leave a message for any, like, it was like a recording or something, but a message for any particular staff
Mhm.
at the hospital, and of course I left
Mhm.
one.
Gushed.
I did. And that's not to say that Dr. Marriott and Tina weren't great, but for those two simple things that she did,
Mhm.
to have such a big influence
Mhm.
on,
Yeah, it sounds
on
profound.
me. Yeah.
I can imagine like that moment, and yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Would you do anything different?
Well,
Like, looking
actually,
back.
I joked with my husband. I don't know if it was a joke at the time, but afterwards I did say, well, I've done that. Maybe next time I could try an epidural,
Mhm.
and just to see, 'cause that was
It's
intense.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And but since then, I've since been like, I've heard enough stories of friends getting epidurals, and like some of the babies, like they can start basically coming down the birth canal, and they can't feel it, and to me that just sounds really scary. Like, maybe it's more comfortable, maybe, but who knows?
Mhm.
So there's the thought of getting an epidural, but I don't think I will. And then I did think about trying a birth center
Mhm.
next time, but I also want Kim there
Yeah.
next time. Of course, you can't plan that, but they were really friendly at
Mhm.
Harrison Silverdale, so that, and they're very close by, but I think next time I might get a doula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make sure that there's a Kim person.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe my husband will remember those things,
Mhm.
and be able to recognize
Mhm.
it sooner. But yeah, as far as, I will definitely not find out the gender again.
Yeah.
Because that was so fun.
Yeah.
And so worth it.
And did you guys discover and like announce it on your own?
Yeah.
So nobody like blurted out before you found out.
Yeah. Nobody, no, Canute was the first to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and then first to say it, and then he posted it on Facebook. He just posted, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a
Aw.
boy. And then he gave the stats a little bit later. But, and then, and my parents, oh, that's right, my poor parents were waiting in the lot. There's a few waiting rooms there, so
Mhm.
they were waiting right there, in the lobby right there. And they could hear me. I guess I was very vocal the whole time. And they thought, oh my gosh, is something going wrong? And just because, I was the bucking bronco the first time, the newbie that just has no idea what she's doing. And she's like, the lady in the room next door, we never heard a peep. Not one peep. And it's like, oh, she's probably got the epidural then.
Maybe. I
Or
don't
maybe
see
she's
how.
hypnobirthing. I don't know. So,
I don't know.
and here I was, pretty much screaming almost. And maybe I was screaming. I have no recollection of my vocalizing. Other than at one point I said to my husband, this is hell with in regards to the fetal monitor
Mm-hmm.
being hooked up, because I was just spinning myself trying to get comfortable, and I
Mhm.
had spun myself around. So when all the nurses were gone at one point, I had him. He detached them,
Mhm.
and that my parents told me about that. They said, and then all of a sudden it just went quiet in there, and because the thump, the heartbeat went away, and so then they were all nervous. But then they were like, but nobody came running or anything. I don't even remember them hooking me back up.
They probably know. I mean, at that point, if it's just like completely stops and there's like nothing, they probably know
Yeah.
that people are taking them off.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, because like I had to have like this like mesh thing for them to like stick on, like, and yeah, they were just so
Constricting and yeah.
It just felt so unnecessary. You know, it was like, I think things are gonna go okay, and things were moving so at such a good pace.
Mhm.
It's like, alright. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're
For telling your
welcome.
story.
Yeah, I love that story. It was
It's a good story. Yes, it is.
such a successful event, and
Mhm.
I always thought having a birth plan was silly, but really to be thinking about the type of birth you want is what's necessary.
And
And
the process of actually writing it
yeah,
makes you consider things and makes you. It's not so much the plan, because I think a lot of places nowadays, they do those things automatically,
Yeah,
or at least they're moving towards doing them, and so it's not like the details so much as collecting your thoughts and organizing and knowing, and that way you can look back or look at it when you're in labor and be like, oh yeah, I want this.
yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, and Harrison does everything just about on par with you.
Mhm.
The first question they asked me was what my pain management was going to be, and
Mhm.
I said none, and she goes, okay. And that was that. So they said that they do about, I think, this is an unofficial number. I think
Mhm.
she said that they do like about 2 a month, 2
Natural. Yeah.
which seems pretty low.
It is, yeah, surprisingly. And that's probably, on par with the actual statistics of how many people get epidurals.
Yeah.
So, but then they combine epidurals too, where it's used as a tool in labor when it's needed.
Right.
This mom's been up for days. She needs to sleep. Let's do an epidural so she can get a nap. Like that kind of stuff.
When things aren't progressing, and to give mom a break. Yeah. If I had to go, I'd say I could probably have gone like 5 more hours, but after that would be really exhausting on the body.
It is exhausting.
And still, the last thing I had eaten was that peanut butter and bread. That's all, and it's like I knew. It's like subconsciously, I knew, and everything was fine. I never got sick, never got hungry, never felt fatigued.
Nice.
I don't remember if it was during or after the delivery, but Kim came up with the giant mug. Where's my mug that I still use? Of water and ice, and she also was putting a cold. Oh, she brought me a ginger ale right afterwards.
Oh, nice.
And she was putting a cold washcloth on my forehead, which felt so good. That had to be during the delivery, the cold washcloth.
Do you remember what you ate
Afterwards?
Was it
I remember
wonderful or not really worth remembering?
I remember being bothered by the smells more still. But I remember, my husband, who eats like a horse, he was like, all right, let's order something. I hope we don't get in trouble with Harrison for admitting this here. Let's order something, because he was hungry. He had gone a long time. Oh, I remember the first thing I ate afterwards was Wendy's cheeseburger.
Nice.
My parents had left and gone to Wendy's, because it's right there. Came back, and they had a burger for Canute, and he was like, do you want some? And I was like, burger? I can take some burger. I've been working out a little bit right now. So I remember having some burger, but the ginger ale was so good. So
that sounds good.
Yeah, it does. And then, getting up and gingerly walking to the bathroom for them to show me how to do everything and take care of myself. And I remember seeing myself in the mirror, and it's this puffy, vacant place where you used to be, he was just there. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's like a marshmallow. Like, it's swollen, but it was just so adorable. I thought, like,
I love that you felt that way about your body.
yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
After that, it was just like,
It's a sacred space. You just grew a baby there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
it really
That's
is.
awesome.
And it was so powerful. And I was like, never again do I care about a muffin top.
Mm-hmm.
So called, you know,
Right.
like we all
Muffins
see
are
things-
awesome.
Yeah,
The top's
right?
the best part.
Yeah. So it was just,
I mean, they make actual muffin tops because it's the best part.
Right.
So.
and he's just so sweet and wonderful, and
It sure is.
he came out with a full head of hair, never lost it, and it's already grown long enough to reach his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna need a haircut.
That was so cute.
So he's just over 4 months old now.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
There will be links down below, especially for Brandy Stewart, who does the belly binding.
Yeah.
I love that you did that. So.
Yeah.
And links for all kinds of stuff, other birth
And
stories, and
You did the placenta. We saved the placenta,
yeah.
and we didn't plan ahead, so we froze it. Remember, and you were still able to do everything. So that was good to know.
Really surprised at how. I mean, I just left it in the fridge and let it just defrost in the fridge, and it didn't look any different. I mean, I would not have been able to tell if it had been frozen. So.
So we did the placenta encapsulation, and I
Mhm.
took those. I did a smaller dosage
Mhm.
than what you said, but I really liked it, and I used it. It probably lasted like a month and a half, I guess. And
Yeah,
then
it's based on how you feel.
yeah,
What you want. I mean, there's
and-
not really a
yeah,
specific way to do it.
yeah. I felt really good after the delivery, so that's why I just kept it low. But also with the belly binding, and then we did the alcohol tincture, which
Mhm.
I haven't used any yet, but I just have it, and then I guess that's it. So I really recommend your
Awesome.
items. Oh, the picture. That's what I was gonna say. The placenta picture.
Oh, the print?
The print.
Yeah.
That I just absolutely love. I love the paper it's on, and
Cool.
that it just goes in his little nursery, and that's where he went. So.
I love it. Yeah, it looks cute in there too.
It does.
It does. That's what helped grow you. Yeah. And you'll look back and think your mama's crazy for doing it, but I bet you'll appreciate it. Silly goose.
Oh, and I have the little piece of the cord.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take the cat found it.
Oh no.
He just was like, I saw him like pick it up and shake it, and I was like, oh goodness, that has to go away in a drawer forever. And so I have a little box for him that I put that in, and I ordered a Seattle Times from that day.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's all this stuff about the governor election, and then I think some on the on Trump and
Mhm.
Hillary, and so that'll be interesting. for
Mhm.
him to
Oh, that's a good idea.
have. That's gonna do.
Alrighty. You say bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.